Hello all, welcome to Curious Learner.
Here I am going to show you a mathematical illusion animated in Blender. Before going into the solution, I actually saw the solution in Numberphile video which I mentioned in this video description. I have mentioned the .blend file in this video description. I packed all the files needed to this animation in that file. So just download and open that file to experiment or edit my animation. Now I am going to play this animation. What do you see? Some circles are moving in a circular path. Of course, it's not a perfect circle. I roughly made this animation. Please adjust. Okay, back to illusion. As you see, these circles are moving in a circular path. Actually, each of them are moving in a straight line. Here you can see that each of those circles are moving in a straight line. That's all. That's the illusion. Now some of you may wonder, how do I create a circular path illusion when each of the objects are moving in a straight line? That's because I used a reference circle moving in a circular path. Here you can see that yellow circle, that's the reference circle. Whenever the red circle touches the yellow circle, I inserted a keyframe there telling that start. Okay, now let's jump into the tutorial. How do I made this? Because it's a mathematical simulation, we don't need to insert every keyframes manually. It can be programmed. So I open the built-in text editor to run my Python script. Here I change from 3D viewport to text editor. It may take some time to load this Python script. Wait for some time. Okay, now this is the Python script to animate this video. I'm going to explain the script. Before explaining the script, let me tell you why this error happens, why it is not a perfect circle. Because here you can see some numbers. Each number I inserted manually. I done it roughly, so there may be some error in this. If you spend some little bit more time and check these values, you can move these circles, these red circles, and position it to have a perfect circle. Okay, first I imported the required modules. BPY is a Blender module, and math it's for these cos and sine mathematical animations. You don't actually need to memorize the syntaxes bpy.data.objects like that. You don't need to actually learn this module bpy, because you can actually learn from Blender itself. I click info here and I'm going to add an object, let's say cube. When I add a cube here you can see that bpy.ops mesh primitive cube added. I added a primitive cube, and it's actually showing each and every steps when you open this info tab. So you don't need to actually memorize the syntaxes, learn BPY module. You can just open this info tab and copy paste these codes. We don't need that info tab anymore, so I close it and delete this cube. Then here we can, okay, this is the reference sphere and these are those 8 spheres. We need to move the reference sphere in a circular path. So here, while I is less than 200 means it's a number of frame count. If you need 500 frames, you can put I is less than equal to 500. Okay, now these two lines is for setting the frame here in the animation. When I actually click each of the spheres, you can see the keyframes here. You can set this keyframes in these frame set of frame. Here frame is nothing but this I value, it's increasing in every loop. So then I call the reference pair, which is the function. What this function is actually, telling is here the x and y, yeah. I changed the x and y as math.cos x, math.sin y, so that it can move in a circular path. That's actually doing in the reference sphere function. Then this sphere function is for those 12 spheres. For these 12 spheres, this function, and what these functions do is, whenever the reference sphere come near to this red color sphere, it will start to move in a straight line. That's I mentioned here. In a range, you can fix the range to any accuracy. I need accuracy of 0.05 range from negative direction to positive direction. So I mentioned it. You can put 1 or 2 like that, but try to minimize the range so that you can get accurate animation here. You don't actually need this print hello there. That's for debugging. That's all. Okay, here initially for those 12 spheres from 0 to 11, that's 12, I mentioned each of the positions of each of those spheres to animate, and here I mentioned all of them in a list so that I don't need to mention bp.data.object sphere 1 sphere 2 in every line of code. I can just mention the list of 0 1 2 3 like that. Okay, that's it's the explanation part. That's all the tutorial, and here you can see Instagram icon at hello world. It's actually my page, my programming page. I post some programming stuffs here. I mentioned this page here because this is actually a part of programming. I used this one Python script, so that I mentioned this Instagram page. I'll mention the Instagram page link also in the description. So if you want to check out my page, you can click this link. Okay, thanks for watching.